So here we're going to be solving for a Cournot equilibrium. We're going to be seeing how that is done. So it's one particular numerical case. So we're thinking of a setting where there's two firms that are selling a homogeneous product, so they're the same. So in the book, we think going back to Cournot's original example from 1838, we're looking at the case of two firms selling bottled water. Okay, so there's a market demand for those for that product, the bottled water, and that's going to be given by price on this market. What's the price of bottled water in this market? Well, it depends on the aggregate quantities, how much these two firms together are supplying, and that is given in this particular example by 70 minus Q, just an example. So the key point of the Cournot equilibrium, in some sense, is that the quantities, of course, I mean, they together determine the price, but they are made up by the quantities of the individual firms. So we call them blue and red, QB and QR. So their quantities together are what's giving the quantities on the market. Okay, and we assume that the cost function for each of these firms is such that it's 10 times quantity. Okay, so each unit, each liter or whatever that you put on bottles costs you 10. Okay, so the question is, what are prices, quantities going to be on this market? How can we solve for that? We know what quantity would be if it were perfect competition. We know what it would be if it's a monopoly. But if there are two firms competing, what will the solution be? Okay. So as usual, we're going to be using calculus this. So we're putting ourselves in the shoes of one of these firms, starting, we're going to be doing both, but we start with blue here. So what does it do? Well, it chooses its quantity to maximize profits. What are profits? Well, as usual, it's price times quantity. So what's price in this case? Well, we use what we know. So 70 minus capital Q, but then we're inserting the respective quantities for these firms. So this would be the price, which depends on total quantities. So for QB, what will its profits be? Well, it will be price, depends on both of us, what both of us are doing. I'm turning into blue here, times blue's own quantity. Okay, so that's revenue, and then there's a cost minus 10 QB. So this is what blue wants to maximize. So as usual, we are using calculus. We're trying to find the top of the profit hill at the point at which profits are the highest. So to do calculus here, let's multiply in the QB. Will be, we could do this directly in the head, but it could be useful just to see that. So just multiply in here, QR, QB, and then minus 10 QB. Okay, so this is just profits, the profit function for firm blue here. So we differentiate this with respect to QB to find the top of the hill. So 70 QB differentiated with respect to QB is just 70. The 2 moves down here. And now comes the deep thinking that Cournot did. So when we're changing QB here, what should we be thinking about red's quantity? We could think that there's some strategic interaction here. I'm blue, I'm thinking if I do this, what will red be doing? If I change a bit on the margin, how would they be responding? We could have lots of different ways of thinking about this. What Cournot said, well, for now, just take that as a given. Take as given that red will be doing the best that she can when she's determining her quantities, and vice versa. She will be thinking that you're doing the best that you can when you're deciding your quantities, and then we will see what set of quantities that are best responding to each other. Short story, or long story short, we now treat red's quantities as a constant. Okay, we're going to be dealing with that later. For now, just see, they're going to be determined, red is going to be setting some quantity, just take that as a given. In other words, treat that as a constant in the optimization problem, okay? So we're differentiating with respect to QB here. And then minus 10, because that's the constant there. And the profit max is where the slope of the profit function is equal to 0. That's a first order condition for profit maximization. Okay, so we're using this. Let's reshuffle to solve for QB. So QB will be equal to, say, we reshuffle here. We do this in our head. So 70 minus 10 is 60, minus QR is on the other side, and we're dividing this by 2. So QB equals 30 minus QR over 2. Okay, so we now have a relation between these. This is known as the best response function, and we'll say a bit about why. Maybe now is the time to actually switch to blue as well. Let's see. Like this. So here we have quantity for the blue firm, QB, and we have on the horizontal axis, we're going to be having QR, the quantities for firm red, the other firm here. So what is this? Well, this QB equals 30 minus QR over 2 is equal to a best response function. So something like this. So we have 30 here. So this is the best response. Which is precisely, or a reaction function, we sometimes say as well. So what does it say? Well, it precisely says this. If QB thought that QR wouldn't be producing anything at all, R would be just staying out of the market, blue would be producing 30 liters, okay? That's exactly the same solution as for a monopoly. But then the more that red is producing, the more that red would be driving down the price, the less does blue want to produce, okay? But for any given quantity of red, the best response function gives precisely this. This is the best response for blue, okay? So the question, of course, in blue's perspective, okay, so where are we going to be? Are we going to be here in the monopoly solution or somewhere here, like in the, what would actually be the perfect competitive solution? Where do we expect red to produce? Well, let's put ourselves in the shoes of red. Okay, and we could just do some minor adjustments here. Let's see that the profit maximization problem for red would be pretty much the same, but of course, red is taking account of her own quantities. So she's determining her quantities, which will determine her profit. So actually, in this case, where it's, we could do this following exactly the same steps as for blue, but we could also note that in this particular case, it's fully symmetric. Okay, so it's exactly the same kind of setup that blue has. So that means that we could take this shortcut and say the best response function for red is going to be equal to 30 minus Q blue over 2. Okay, so it's same, but just opposite. Okay, so perfectly symmetric. So this is the best response for red. So we want to draw that in this same diagram. Okay, we then have a problem. We have red on the horizontal axis. So to be able to draw it, we want to have blue here for this as a dependent variable. So we're just reshuffling, okay? So let's do those steps. So multiply up here, 2QR equals 60 minus QB, applying that QB equals 60 minus 2QR. Okay, so this is the best response function for red, like so. Okay, so we now have two. We have two. So we're looking. What are the optimal quantities? That's where we're going with this. Well, it's going to be where they're both best responding to each other. So this is going to be the solution. But let's look at that in some detail. So we have essentially two best response functions. We have the best response function for red here, and we have the best response function for blue. Okay, so these two conditions, these two equations, give the optimal quantities for these two firms. Now, blue wants to do as well as possible as it can, given what red is doing, and vice versa. So we're solving for the set of quantities such that each firm is best responding to the other. Okay, so we could, for instance, insert red's best response function into blue's. So let's do that here, meaning that we have QB equals 30 minus, and it's convenient to pull out the 1/2 times, here we're inserting red's best response function. Okay, so this is just that. And we can then solve for QB. Let's do this in one step forward. So 1/2 times 30 is 15. Minus minus becomes plus. So this is 1/4 QB. Moving over the QB here and pulling out gives us like this, or QB equals 15 times 4/30, just multiplying in here, which gives us 20. Okay, and in this case, we could just insert the 20 into red's best response function and get red's best optimal quantity, or we could here by symmetry note that red's quantity will be the same. Okay.